Hey, good evening, everybody. So this is Joseph Alexander Suchorski here, aka the Polish Panther, and I just wanted to weigh in on an article that I was reading about. It popped up in my news feed again today. I read this article about a month ago, or a similar article. It's about Dirty Dancing Part 3, an article about Jennifer Grey coming back to star in a sequel to Dirty Dancing. And, I read the article last month, and then another article about it popped up in my newsfeed today, and I was reading some of the comments about it, and most of the people were completely against it, talking about, no, they shouldn't do this, and, Patrick Swayze passed away in 2009. That's one of the reasons why they shouldn't do it. And a lot of people were like, they don't need a sequel. And so I kind of chimed in, and I says, well, technically they already made a sequel to Dirty Dancing. It was called Dirty Dancing Part 2, Havana Nights. And I says, Patrick Swayze had a very small role in that one. And that's probably most of the reason why I did not like that movie, because I am a very big Patrick Swayze fan. I did not know him personally, but I felt like I did. And, very much same thing with Larry Hagman, who played J.R. Ewing and Major Anthony Nelson. I didn't know him, but I felt like I knew him too. I would say that those were, probably two of the biggest actors that when they passed away that I really took it hard. I remember I was in St. Louis, Missouri on an executive protection assignment that day, protecting a radio DJ, when an announcement was made in the booth. I was in the booth with the DJ, or the radio talk show host to be more correct, and he had made an announcement that Patrick Swayze had passed away from cancer that particular day. And I remember thinking, to myself, I was in complete shock. My heart just sank. Just listening to this, as I was there to protect this individual. But I think about Patrick Swayze quite often. I loved all his roles that he did. There's a lot of them. I loved him in North and South. I loved him in Roadhouse. I've seen just about every single movie or show that he's done. Loved him in Black Dog. I got a new documentary on him called I Am Patrick Swayze, and I haven't seen that yet, but I got the DVD of that, and I'm watching that soon. But I kind of wanted to chime in on this because, technically they've already created a sequel to Dirty Dancing called Dirty Dancing Part 2, Havana Nights. And like I said, I really didn't care for the story of it. And I think a lot of it had to do with, too, the fact that Patrick Swayze didn't have a big role in that movie, which I kind of bummed me out because, as I said, I'm a huge Patrick Swayze fan. Over the course of time, I was very fortunate to chat with his wife, Lisa Nimi Swayze, a couple times online. There was a few posts that she had put up a couple years ago, and I had put on a few comments about Patrick Swayze and about what I thought about him and his influence upon me. And she had, to my surprise, she had actually typed back, thanking me for the kind words, and she shared a couple of her memories about him, and I thought that was really neat. To get back to this, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. Whether they make a Dirty Dancing Part 3 or not, because technically that's what this would be, with Jennifer Grey starring in this. I just hope that if they do make it, that they do a tribute to Patrick Swayze or make some type of reference to his character from the movie, which I'm sure they probably will. But yeah, I just have a lot of fond memories of Patrick Swayze. He was a very, very talented person. I mean, there was nothing that he could not do from what I read. The man was fearless. And over the course of the years, they talked about remakes of some of his movies. Well, first of all, when it comes to remakes, I am not a remake kind of person, okay? Whether they call it remake or reboot, whatever, a reboot is technically a remake. You're retelling, the story based on a character, and the thing. You might change a few details and stuff, but a reboot is a remake. I'm not a fan of remakes. And I believe they did a remake of Dirty Dancing. I refuse to watch it because first of all, when it comes to remakes, most of the movies out there that they remake, the original movie was good itself. So there's really no reason to remake it, okay? Stop remaking good movies. If you want to remake a movie, remake a crappy movie, something that was horrible to start out with the first time. Remake that and make it better, okay? Simple as that. Stop remaking the good movies, because good movies were classics and they were awesome. So with the remake of Dirty Dancing, I refuse to watch it out of my respect for Patrick Swayze, because I love the guy so much, and I loved his acting and his talent, and I love the movie Dirty Dancing. I refuse to watch a remake of that. Same thing with Point Break. I loved him in Point Break. I thought it was a very good movie. I refuse to watch a remake just because it's a remake of one of his movies. There's nothing wrong with Point Break. It was a very, very good movie. Then they were talking about remaking Roadhouse and having Ronda Rousey star in there. Well, first of all, I'm not a Ronda Rousey fan, okay? No offense or anything. Second of all, why they want to remake Roadhouse, I don't know, because that was an awesome movie. Between Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott, what more could you ask for? It's kind of funny because the guy Tinker in there, the actor who plays Tinker, he kind of reminds me of one of my old bosses at a mining company I used to work with. So every time I see Roadhouse, I see this character Tinker, and it makes me think of my old boss I used to work with. But all these movies that Patrick Swayze was in, they're all great movies. There's no need to do remakes on them. Like I said, if you want to do a remake, do a remake on a crappy movie that was crappy from the start. I've seen very few remakes. I've watched a couple, just to say but I will say I've seen very few remakes that were actually better than the original. I've seen maybe one or two remakes that were better than the original. And I'm just not a fan of remakes, When it comes to Patrick Swayze, like I said, he was a very gifted and talented person. I loved his acting. He had that charisma. He had that mystique. He had the talent, and his love and his passion for dancing too. I saw a video online on YouTube a couple years ago of him dancing with his wife Lisa. I don't know what country it was in, but she was wearing like a goldish colored dress, and they were dancing to one of Whitney Houston's songs, "He Lifts Me Up," I believe it was. And just the type of dancing that they did, it was very inspiring, and you could tell just the passion and the love that they had for each other that was expressed through this dancing. And he's actually, I'm not much of a dancer myself. I've taken a few dance lessons with Serena Polish dancing, which is a Polish type of dancing. And really my inspiration for even getting into dancing it came from Patrick Swayze. Seeing what he could do and how he danced, and thinking to myself, man, if I could only be partially as good as him, that would be an honor. Because he was a very gifted and talented person, you know. But regardless to this whole thing about them wanting to do a sequel to his movies, a lot of people are upset about it because they said it won't be the same, and they're right. It won't be the same. It really won't. But as long as they do it correctly and they pay homage to Patrick Swayze and his character from the original movie, I think it would turn out, okay. I think it'd turn out good, and that's something I'd pay to go see, But that's pretty much my thoughts on this article that I read about it. Like I said, I haven't seen every movie that he has ever made, but I've seen, I'd say, about a good 90% of them. There's just a lot of there was just a lot of talent that this guy had, and all the different characters that he played, whether it was Jack Cruz in Black Dog, or it was Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing, or if it was Dalton in Roadhouse. This guy had a lot of talent, and he was truly blessed by God with this talent, and he chose to express it and give something back to the world through entertainment, and I'm glad that this is something that he shared with us, because I've enjoyed watching how to put this, how to say it, better yet, I've enjoyed experiencing the way he expresses himself through what he has learned to give back to the world, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him, So, like I said, I didn't know him at all, but there are some people in life that you just kind of feel like you're connected to them in some way. So, that's pretty much what I had to say, so...